And I'm up trying to figure out what to record, right? So I'm not sure which channel I'm going to put this on. I'm probably going to put this on the Master Teacher Responds channel. I think that's where it's the best place for it. I don't know if it really belongs in my Be Just It More channel, even though it's a bigger channel. I think it's better on this channel, but we'll see. This is in response to Obsidian's commentary on the so-called beef between BreadTube or CornbreadTube, which is a black version of BreadTube, mainly FD Signifier, versus me, I suppose. He actually likes Mr. Z, so I don't think he opposes Mr. Z. I think he likes Mr. Z. So the person that he really focuses in on is probably me. Why me in particular instead of Angry Man or O'Shea Duke Jackson or, yada, 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 yada. Even when he talks about the white manosphere, it's like, anyway, okay. So why is there a beef between the black manosphere and BreadTube? I don't think there's a beef between me and FD Signifier, not to my knowledge. It's more of a response. I don't think that he's beef worthy, personally. There's nothing to grab a hold to. In fact, I would say most people that I've encountered here on YouTube are not really beef worthy. Mostly, the only reason that there's a beef here in Black YouTube is because we cross-pollinate. And I think the subscribers keep the beef going more than anything else, because they'll take up a champion, and since we cross-pollinate all the time, they'll pop up and troll your channel. And most of the time, what they're trolling you about has really no substance. Most of the beefs I've had on YouTube has no substance at all. It was all feeling based, but we do take our cues from our women. There's no logic to any of the beefs. It's all feeling. It's not that I don't like what you said. I don't like how you said it. And I don't like the way it makes me feel. And that's generally the way it goes. And I think some of this is BreadTube, because Dr. Thunder said this, and I agree with him. FD Signifier in academia is not unusual. Now, on the street, okay, yeah, he's weird. Okay, there's not even a question about that. On the street, he's weird. All day long. He knows to tuck in and not use that verbiage, that intersectional feminist verbiage on the street, because they're going to look at him strange. So he's weird. When he goes outside and touches grass, he don't carry that stuff with him. I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't. Because when I go outside and I touch grass and I encounter the brothers on the street, even the brothers that are sometimes educated, I start talking that intersectional feminist crap, they're going to look at me weird. Trust and believe. I talk to brothers that are very well educated, brothers with, obviously the brothers I talk to with PhDs, that's obvious. There's about 4 or 5 of them. Well, maybe 6 or 7, but who's counting? But even the brothers with degrees, there's a lot of brothers that are subs, have degrees. I have a whole email ring of brothers that have bachelors, and a couple of them have masters in STEM, but not in this rinky-dink stuff. In STEM and finance and stuff that matters, not a lot of the social stuff. But I think the problem with me and FD Signifier, even though as far as count, if we just call subscriber count, I would be low man on the totem pole. But why he singled me out is because of the impact that I have on the space. It's not the count. I always said when I first started my channel, I actually go after who rather than how many. And I'm trying to remember who said that. I was just thinking about that. Oh, it was actually, I was just listening to the Falcon and the Snowman, the last speech that the Falcon gave, the last speech he gave to the senators. And one thing he said, I think I might even play the audio of the clip at the front of this. One thing that he said, that stuck with me. You can change borders with the signatures. You know, you can fund a country with an email. I said, hell, you can feed 1 million people with a phone call, because you have that power. You have the same powers that an insane God that try to wipe out the whole universe. And when this situation is over, you're going to go back into your boardrooms and make these decisions. But one thing he said, who's going to be in the room with you? Is it going to be more people like you that are isolated, or people that you're affecting? And that is the key. Who's in the room? 99.999% of the people are not going to be in that room. And the job is not to be popular. Even though I would love to be popular, because I would love to make the money that FD Signifier makes, that will help an old man and his kids and his grandkids. But if you want to change the world, if you want to make an impact, you got to get the ear of the person that's going to be in the room. That's obvious. But why is there a quote unquote beef, in my opinion, between me and FD Signifier, even though I don't think there is? I don't think he looks at me as an adversary. I don't think he even looks at me as a worthy opponent, which is fine. By the same vein, I don't look at him as an adversary. And also by the same vein, I don't look at him as a worthy opponent. And Mr. Z is trying to get me into listening and responding to BreadTube, or CornbreadTube, as FD Signifier kind of presents it. So I asked for a list, and I have been perusing the people that he says make up BreadTube, the people that he listens to. Now, I already listened to the Kim Fosters and the Chrissies, and I've listened to the Paris Milans and all this kind of stuff, because I seen them when they rose up through the ranks, in the opposition to the Manosphere. In fact, a lot of them actually rose up through the Manosphere and then opposed it. Ain't that a kick in the head? Because with Chrissy, that was Sergeant Willie Pete that brought her on board, and Sergeant Willie Pete is definitely Black Manosphere 1.0. But the other folks, the intersectional liberal leftist feminists that I really don't get. Don't get them at all. So I'm perusing their stuff, right? And I'm looking for something that I can really respond to, that really kind of I can either agree with or disagree with. And when I'm finding out that they probably should be on Twitch, because I guess it's entertainment. I suppose it's entertainment. The stuff that they talk about, I suppose it's entertainment. But I really haven't found anything that's meaty enough to really respond to. I might have to get to Mr. Z and find out exactly what it is that they do that is either egregious or something worthy to respond to. Even the stuff they've done on the Black Manosphere. Other than calling us weird or whatever it is, and saying that we're not married and need to go outside and have families. Man, I just had, I call them clients when I have to get on the phone, on the horn with them and give them so-called consultations, but they're not really consultations. It's just conversations. I am not in a position to consult anybody. I just give conversations. When I get on the horn with them, a lot of these guys, man, a lot of these guys are 6 figures or better. And all these guys are bachelor's and master's degrees, and they work in STEM, and they work in finance, and they work in government and stuff like that. These are the kind of guys. Some of these guys are actually overseas in these elite positions. And I don't ask their names because I don't want to know who they really are, because if I know who they really are, then I can get accused of them passing me information. I don't have none of that. But these are my subs. A lot of these guys are my subs. So when he calls them weird or out of step or or incels or whatever you want to call them, right, that I'm associated with. I don't have any of that. The vast majority of my people are 35 and over. Vast majority of my people have a bachelor's or better. And the stuff we talk about as far as women are concerned is not, as I talk about now, anybody else I can't answer for. As I talk about, most of it is actually structural. It's not about one individual woman or one individual person. It's a structural issue. Most stuff I talk about is systemic. Now, I think the reason that me and him may or may not have a tiff, I don't think it's as serious as Obsidian makes it out to be. I think they believe destiny, and I think BreadTube thought they were Prometheus. Okay, they were going to bring fire down to the masses from Mount Olympus, for where they were, in academia in Mount Olympus, and they were going to bring knowledge and fire and light down to the huddled black male masses and show us the light and show us how wrong we were about black women, and that we need to give up our incel ways and our nihilistic ways and not become lost and pick up a book and go touch grass, and that would actually enlighten us. And once we show them the light and give them the information, they will see the light and they will walk down the path. We got 2 words for you: bullshit. Brother came and got his head handed to him. He found out that he doesn't read enough. He found out that there are levels to this shit. And he found out that he could only go to the 2nd floor. Thought he was coming from the penthouse. We found out the penthouse that he's in is only the 2nd floor. Is it higher than the 1st floor? We can look down on people, sure. But it's not the penthouse. It's not where we are. And it's not that he couldn't assemble the pieces. He didn't even know what the pieces were. That's how come he had his mouth open. That's how come he's flabbergasted. That's how come why is he down on a channel that has like 3,000 people, 3,000 subs? Why does that make sense? Or go to Bernard Riley, it was even a smaller channel than mine. How come he didn't go to Obsidian? How come he didn't go to Valdez, who has almost as many, probably I think has more subs than he does? There's a number of people he could have gone to. We have 3 PhDs that he could have gone to. Probably 4. And talked to. How come he didn't go to one of them? Interesting, isn't it? Well, he came to my channel because I don't have letters behind my name, which is something I told Dr. Johnson about publishing. Even though he insisted I should publish. I don't think so. It's because to be taken seriously with the people that matter, I would have to have letters in front and behind of my name. But I will do as my professor has told me to. I will start to write. I will start to publish. But I think the beef is that sometimes, well, let's put it to, they used to call this back down south all the time about being an educated fool. Being educated doesn't mean that you're smart. Being educated doesn't mean that you know something. My daughter in 6 months is going to have the same degree that he has. My youngest daughter. My other daughter already has her bachelor's degree. My cousin just got his PhD in education about a year ago. I got a cousin that's a principal at a high school, and I got another cousin that's a high school counselor. Been that way for the last 15 years. I'm surrounded by people with degrees, with knowledge, with education. I am a self-taught person, but I am consistent. I have been self-teaching myself for the past 30 years for 20 to 30 hours a week. Probably minimum. I still do it. And I don't get a chance to read as much as I would like, is because YouTube is time consuming to keep up with. But I think that is the disagreement that me in him have. Most black guys want to be the smartest people in the room. I have no issue with that. My only requirement is that you are the smartest person in the room. If you want to be that way, hey, and you are that, hey, take the floor. But I will even give you leeway if you know what you're talking about. But the reason I can't get with BreadTube and FD Signifier and these kind of folks is because they're talking about stuff that doesn't matter. Okay, it's like popcorn for, I guess, the educated class, the people that really didn't do anything with their degrees for the most part. They got out, they got all these student loans, and they're working a white bread job, and they're struggling just like everybody else, which is good. You know, that's the way the system was set up. But most of the stuff they talk about doesn't matter. The vast majority of things they talk about don't matter. And like I said, long time ago, YouTube is an entertainment platform, and they provide lefty entertainment so that lefties or semi-lefties, I don't think they're even lefties because real lefties are probably dry and boring. You know, I've never seen one of them actually interview with people like Noam Chomsky or you know, even Cornel West. If you want to be black, okay? They don't interview those kind of guys. I don't think I've seen one of them interview any of those guys. Hell, there's there's quite a few lefties, lower level lefties, that you can't get. Tim Black, who should have way more subs and way more views and make way more money from YouTube. Tim Black is a lefty progressive that interviews way more people, way more black lefties than these people do. And we're supposed to take you guys seriously? Come on now. And I have nothing against the brother, man. There's plenty of brothers that provide good entertainment inside and outside the black manosphere that are on par, that entertain. You know, I have no problem with that. The thing is, try to have a serious conversation about stuff that matters. Is my mentor, Craig Hewlett, tried to tell us back 20 years ago about anything: philosophy, politics, health, religion, even entertainment, about things that matter, about a serious dive. And when I listen to him, it's like, you know, it's almost like it's almost like Sesame Street or Reading Rainbow for lefties. When I look at them, it's fluff. There's nothing, no meat, no seriousness to it. And there's no denigration of them. I mean, they're accurate as far as they go, I think. But when I look at them, it's like, I don't get it. It's like popcorn. Okay, it might taste good if you season it up right and add a little butter and maybe a little caramel to it. It tastes good, but the thing is, as far as substance, as far as a meal, you're not gonna go very far. There's no meat to it. There's no substance to it. It's mostly air, and that's why it's hard. It's really hard for me to even go in on him and actually review anything that he says, because most of the stuff that he reviews is air. And really, most of the stuff that he goes through, the regular guys can pick up and get. They don't need an education for that kind of stuff. I mean, my thing is challenge these cats to do something serious. Actually, take a stance to do something serious. There are people that are up there that actually interview serious people and are interviewed by serious people with serious messages, with serious consequences, but actually have meat on the bones in depth to where people can actually change their lives. And I don't see it with these cats. So no, there really isn't any beef. And for the most part, I'm still really trying to understand FD Signifier. Dude, why are you even here? What are you down here for? As far as subscriber count and YouTube count, this is beneath you. Why do we matter at all to you? If you actually want to go and actually talk to the Manosphere, period, go talk to Roller Tomasi. Will talk to you. He'll talk to you. There's one brother, that's one white dude in MGTOW, Thinking Ape. Okay, he'll talk to you. I'm trying to think of the brother's name. The white guy's name, right? He'll talk to you. I was going to call him Snowman. But yeah, there's cats that will talk to you, that have education and talk about serious stuff that you can have a conversation with. That are in the white manosphere. Now, what? Anyway, man, let me bounce off here, man, because I'll be fumbling around. In other words, basically upsetting. There's really no beef, man. There's really a nothing burger to it. And 2024, man, the most of the cats with nothing burgers, man, and basically, I got to roll up on a couple of people, but for the most part, man, if you ain't got nothing, man, don't, as far as coming at me, you ain't got nothing. Just keep my name out your mouth, man. You ain't got nothing to really say. I mean, I have a whole response channel if you really want to come over and respond, and I'm going to try to pick up once a week and try to do an open mic session for people that want to come over there. But when I have an open mic session, nobody comes over there and actually says anything. All the cats that really wanted to come, really wanted to have something to say, they really ain't had nothing to say. And when I actually start responding to them, then they get quiet. When the thing is that the one thing they taught you is a bully will punch on you until you punch them back. And when you punch them in the nose, they stop messing with you. Anyhow, let me go ahead and close this out, and I'll put this up. But yeah, Obsidian, yeah, there's no beef. Peace out.